Hey, welcome into YSNLive.com's Power Hour. DJ Yoakley here. We got the EB, Eric Bailey, right next to me. We got McNuggies making his triumphant return to the Power Hour, joined as well by Ty Bartell and Paul Munson. Gentlemen,
It's Friday.
how are we?
It's Friday.
Wow, jinx. No surprise there for Paul, jinxing somebody. Let's go on to our National Day. This is an exciting one. We haven't had a good one in a while. It's National Cookie Day, and the Cookie Monster himself, Jeff Bezos, not here to even acknowledge it. So, guys, what is the go-to cookie for you? It doesn't have to be homemade. It can be anything store-bought if you'd like. What is the national cookie? What is your favorite cookie treat? EB, start us off.
Dude, Subway puts out probably the best cookies. Like, I'm going to have to go. I've never had a bad cookie from there. But I think the OG is a white macadamia nut.
Well, okay, that's an interesting pick out of all the Subway cookies because they got some really twisted ones. How about you, McNuggies? Don't even just say chocolate chip, or else you're out.
No, it's not chocolate chip. It's 100% the Oreo. I think I have about 9 a day, and I'm not going to get into it, but there's this specific, like every time we go to the store, we have to make sure that they're American Oreos. That's a story for another day, though.
No, that's a story for right now. Explain.
Okay, so I forget how long ago it was. I think it was like 4 or 5 years ago.
So you were
Yes, exactly, EB. I was a very developed little child. So I noticed that there were two different types of two different packages that the family size Oreos came in. One had a lot skinnier font on it. I know that this sounds absolutely ridiculous. And then one had a bigger sized font. And the one with the smaller font always tasted better. And then when we looked at it, is because those ones were made in America and the bigger size font were made in Mexico. So there was a difference in ingredients there. So every time we go to the store, we have to make sure that they're made in America.
Look at Scott Minter chiming in. Any cookie. He says he's the Cookie Monster. So Bezos has got a title to defend when it comes. That's an interesting story. I didn't know. I know your mom put something on social media a while ago about the difference in Oreos, but I'm very interested to see what that's interesting. Cookies from Mexico taste different than cookies from America.
I honestly think it's just the ingredients.
What if does anybody have a cookie from Canada? I wonder if if it's just like a scale thing. Like the higher you go, the better the cookie is.
That was an Nabisco thing because I worked for them for a while and they sent their manufacturing down there because it was cheaper labor. So
really,
yeah, yep. So that's why a lot of people started banning Oreos and Chips Ahoy and all that stuff, because when they got bought by the other company and they combined, they sent their stuff down to Mexico it was cheaper labor to make the Oreos.
No kidding. Wow. Learn out of all the things you know, Paul. That?
Yeah.
Okay. Well played. Like things I didn't think Paul Munson would know for 100, please, and there it is.
Yeah.
Ty, your favorite cookie?
For me, it's definitely the peanut butter cookies. The one I make specifically has these Reese's peanut butter chips in it, though, and it's so good. Snickerdoodle's a close second, though, but it's definitely peanut butter.
I got to go with Mardell on this one, too. I don't know if you guys have had the carrot cake cookie at Subway. Beautiful. It is unbelievable, and I can't get enough, but they only have it. It's seasonal, but the one cookie they do have is that, was it raspberry cheesecake cookie? Unbelievable. If you haven't had it, try it. But I digress to Mr. Paul Munson, the cookie expert of all of us. Paulie?
One of my all-time favorites was the Mega Stuff Oreo, of course. But I'm a soft batch kind of guy, so I like the softer cookies. So I like the Chips Ahoy soft batch. But, to give her some shout-out, Rachel, those YSN cookies that we had, those were really, really good. Yeah, cookie creations by her. Oh, my goodness.
They were good. Now, usually, I got to be honest, and I hate it. We're not knocking Rachel at all, but usually when you have a sugar cookie, it just tastes like a sugar cookie, right? There's not a whole lot of difference to it, unless you have those Walmart ones, which are really weird tasting, like almost Play-Doh-y. But Rachel's cookies were unbelievable. Like there was something different to them. that it just made it worth, like, every bite was awesome.
Yeah,
like, all the way to the end.
Usually sugar cookies like that are hard, so you're expecting it to be a hard cookie and it crumbles and breaks, but hers were like had like a soft moistness to them, and it was like, wow.
Well, you've had the Walmart cookies, right? The soft, like, I mean, it's almost like Play-Doh. Like, I used to love them, and now I hate them because it's not even a cookie. It shouldn't even be qualified as a cookie. It's just like good. You know what I mean? Like, it's I don't even know. So, but Rachel killed it. I mean, she absolutely killed it with her cookie. It's a sugar cookie. It's delicious. Does she make more than just sugar cookies, or is it just those?
That's all we've ever gotten, so I don't know. We'll have
So
to
it's a
look
good
into
question. We'll hand it off to Carrie Munson, who will be able to fill us in on that. So National Cookie Day, happy National Cookie Day to everybody out there. Some great basketball on the agenda last night. AB, Salem coming up short against South Range, but playing back-to-back emotional games like that, when you think about it, did that have anything to do with what actually transpired? I mean, both teams really good, but you guys came off a really emotional game against Poland just prior to.
I don't want to say that had anything to do. I mean, to me, that's kind of an excuse. Like, South Range is good.
Yep.
Now, I think it would have been better to have a day to prepare for them, but, at the end of the day, the hoops are 10 feet. The lines are still the same. The ball bounces, but the back-to-back, it's tough. It's a little adversity, but, you start to look at that. That's either going to be the norm this year because you don't know what's going to go on, or really, that's what you got to do to be a great team is you got to beat the good teams. And South Range is a super, super good team. Like, they're fast. They can the most impressive stat that I think is they put up 68 points or 69 points. They only made 1 3-pointer that whole game. And I think they might have only shot 2. So, they attack, they finish well. They're a well-rounded team, and kudos to Coach Fish. Love the guy to death. Him and Coach Scott, they're awesome guys. Got to talk to him a little bit before the game last night. Utmost respect to those guys. I told Coach Fish, I can tell his wife dressed him because he was pretty plain. It was just black pants and a polo shirt. So I knew the wife he dressed him yesterday, but South Range they're impressive, man. And honestly, when you return everyone from a regional team, they just picked up right where they left off. And I don't know, if we have days to prepare for them, if it changes the outcome or not. I'm not Nostradamus or anything like that. Hats off to them, dude. If you don't get a chance to watch that team this year, you're missing out because they're fun. Like I'm not going to fight our girls. I think our girls were an awesome team. We're still learning some things here and there, but that team's fun to watch, and they do a lot of things the right way.
Well, and I'll be honest, EB, and not to put anybody on the spot, but there's no excuse not to watch them this year. It's absolutely free to watch it on YSN, and when I tuned in last night, that was 2 good teams doing battle, and yeah, you're not going to make any excuses, and I don't expect you to, but there is something that goes into playing back-to-backs in an emotional game. Like, you have a 1,000-point score. There's a lot of emotion in that game. You're playing a really good team in Poland, and you play a really good team in South Range. You walk away 1-1, you're feeling pretty good about where you're at as a program early going in 2020 when, like you said, there's a lot of question marks and a lot of people wishing that they were in your shoes playing basketball at that moment.
Right. And South Range, I think in basketball and in life, you learn a lot more from your losses than your victories. So South Range showed us what we really needed to work on. They exploited it, and we gave the girls the day off today. They've had a busy week, so give them a day to take care of their bumps or bruises, get your legs back under you. Our game was postponed that we would have tomorrow against Alliance, so we have a couple days to regather, and we'll get back to it. I mean, there's zero doubt in this group at Salem. They're definitely going to be a special group, and they have all the tools to do it. And You know, I gotta give our girls a lot of credit. They fought. You know, they fought hard to where it got to about 18 points at one time, and you know, you learn a lot about teams because that 18 can go to 38 or you can get it down to 8. Now, I think they cut the lead to 10, and when we needed a shot, it just didn't fall. And South Range really capitalized on it, and that's hats off to them because you know when a team's pushing and clawing and they start to make a little bit of a run, you know it's equally as important to the team leading to make a shot to kind of stop the bleeding as well. So, you know they did a great job. They handled our run a little bit, and you know our shots didn't fall, which that's part of the game too. You know, you got to give the ball a chance. If it goes in, it goes in. If it doesn't, you know that's what you deal with. And it was a fun game, especially those two caliber teams. I'm kind of, I guess, playing them and pulling back to back. That's a pretty good measuring stick. So
Yeah, I would say so. Ty, well, we have a chance to talk about the games from last night. You made the trip all the way to Jefferson and got to see a very good Struthers team. Talk to me about what you saw against the Lady Falcons.
Well, we were finally able to get the stream up after connecting to the school's Wi-Fi. So it started out interesting that night by getting the whole stream up. But watching the game too, we saw Jefferson too in that second half, the beginning of the second half, third quarter. They started making a comeback, and there were some really great defensive players. Taylor Skinner, one to highlight for Jefferson. Especially really good going down the stretch of the third quarter. I mean, we're talking blocks, we're talking steals, we're talking putting the ball in the bucket, just basic fundamentals of basketball and what you would love as a coach. I would imagine EB would say too, someone that's as hard on defense as they are on offense, just goes all out on the floor. But I mean, if I'm highlighting one player of the night, and I mean, I talked about her enough through the broadcast, and I'll talk about her some more. Emma Aaliyah might be one of the best through contact finishers I've seen in girls basketball in the entire area. I mean, down the stretch too, when Jefferson starts making a comeback, they cut the lead within 9. Emma Aaliyah, we're talking going up against every single defender that Jefferson had. They threw everything at her, and did not matter if she was guarded by 1 or 2 people. The result was the same. It was either you're fouling her and she's going to the line for 2, or she's making it and she's getting fouled anyway and going to the line for 1 more. So, I mean, one of the best performances I've seen. And I mean, for a senior, I know she's her intentions are to play afterward, but I think she has offers too. Her mom came up and she talked to me a little bit after the game, but definitely, I think, like I said, one of the best through contact finishers I've seen, and all around players I think I've seen in women's basketball in the area. And I mean, the Struthers girls basketball team, they've been good for a long time. So Jefferson had their hands full going forward, but I mean, this Struthers team, and I've seen them last year, I've seen them in years prior, but this Struthers team, after watching them last night, they're a serious team this year, and I mean, don't be surprised if they make a deep playoff run.
Yeah, Emma Laya is a very special player when it comes down to it. One of the best players, and she's kind of been under the radar for a few years. You know, she's made splashes here and there, and she's been a big dog of the Valley on YSN and for Bear Brothers. But I think that this is going to be a very special year for her. But the problem is she's going to have to share the spotlight with a lot of other special players in the area. You've got Kyla Jamison, you've got Jackie Grisdale, you've got tons of players just on this network alone.
Well, yeah, look at that league that she's in, man.
That's what I'm saying. The NEA
right.
by itself.
Look, that girl busts her butt. Right? Like, I'm sure you guys don't pay too much attention to the girls' basketball outside of like I get to see a lot of these girls in the AAU circuit, fall leagues, summer leagues. And you know who they work with as far as training. That girl busts her butt, and you're right, dude. She's super underrated, and I don't even want to say she's underrated. I think she's just somewhat overlooked, and it's not
underrecognized.
Probably. Yeah, because that league is just. I mean, when you have someone like Jackie, you have the Lombardies. You know, last year even you throw in Niles, you had Nate Fryer. You had so much talent. It's close your eyes and go up and down the list and point, and you're going to get someone great. So it's not that she doesn't have the skill set. I think there's just such a plethora of talent, especially at guard position in that league. It's very easy to not notice someone.
I think too. One thing you can attest to, EB. One thing I saw from her throughout the night is, I mean, for her size, I think she's 5'5", but I mean, about average size, right? But I mean, she one of the grittiest players I think I've seen in the area as far as girls basketball. I mean,
High five, but she plays like she's 6'8".
yeah, exactly. Not afraid to go up and get contact from anybody. I mean, there was every single player they put on her defense was not afraid to take the contact and try to finish through it. So one of the grittiest players, very old school type of basketball player, and it was something I could definitely appreciate watching last night's game.
So a big victory for Struthers last night against Jefferson Lisbon in the boys' game with a significant win. I think it was 70-27 was the final in that game over Jefferson Christian. Salem obviously on the short end of the stick against South Range. Cancellations last night for Columbiana versus Valley Christian, Western Reserve versus Canfield, Springfield versus Jackson Milton, and Waterloo versus Sebring. Guys, we'll talk about that in just a moment. And I know I don't think anybody really looked at watched the entirety because we were all busy last night with the swim meet, but impressive nonetheless of seeing 2,300 people tune in for a swim meet between Boardman, South Range, and Poland. The new evolution of YSN came and went last night, and it was a big sonic boom, or I guess you could say it was a big splash on the network.
I watched some of it.
I did too. I didn't know what I was looking for. I'll be honest with you. I don't even know how to swim, let alone announce swimming. But it was impressive. The team that we had doing it, the Boardman team, did fantastic. They knew exactly what they were looking for, exactly how to call it, and we had people asking for more after the meet. And Canfield reached out and said we would love to see this for us, and we're looking to do more. And I say this constantly. We're more than just baseball, softball, volleyball, basketball, football. We want to do more sports, and we want to recognize more student athletes, and swimming is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to what we want to do. So if you didn't have a chance to go on and watch, you'll have another opportunity on Saturday, 1 p.m., where Boardman will be hosting Warren Harding, Worcester, and Canfield. So at 1 p.m. you'll be able to tune in for that. We'll see if we can get that pushed onto our social media, get a little bit more love to it. As last night we were just kind of testing to see how it goes, but people knew about it.
Putting our toe in the water.
I see what you did there. I see what you did. That's about all I can do. I still need floaties. The girls can swim better than I can already. But as far as tonight goes, we've got pretty much Steve says it's a light night on YSN, but I look at the schedule and I see Crestview versus Wellsville. Yes, Crestview versus Wellsville. We've already received this 3 times, at least publicly. If you look at ysnlive.com, if you go to the page right now, you're going to see a ticker at the top. That's our score ticker. It's provided by ScoreStream, okay? We've got nothing to do with that. We have no power. We can't change it. We apologize. If they put the wrong team in there, we can't do anything about it. What you need to go by and need to qualify us for is our ysnlive.com/live. If we've got the wrong team on there, then we can do something about it. But the ScoreStream ticker, a lot of companies use it. A lot of companies fund around it. We choose not to because it's absolutely free to us. So if you're out there and you're promoting it and you're paying for it, just know that you can do it on your own website, absolutely free if you choose to, and we'll even show you how to do it if you'd like. But the reality is we don't have any power over that. Crestview is playing Wellsville tonight. It's in Crestview. So Larry and Dom O'Brien will have that game for you tonight. Tonight also, Heartland Christian and United will be in action. Mark will have that for us. Mark Franken, of course, 7 p.m. Ty, you've got a very special game, a marquee game. Fitch and Hudson going head-to-head, followed by Lowellville and Springfield. Alec is going to have that for us. Salem and Minerva all have the action for you live from the cab. And we had a cancellation. We'll talk about it here shortly. Sebring and Jackson Milton canceled. Doubleheader moved to December 23rd. So I don't know if that's part of a a Christmas tournament or if it's just a single. Well, it's going to be a doubleheader, but we'll see.
Boys, girls, girl doubleheader.
All right, thank you very much, Paul. And then Richie has what I think is probably going to be the marquee matchup of the night in the Battle of 224, Canfield versus Poland. So, Stevie says it's a light night. I say it's a pretty nice night on the network, full of some hoops. And then we'll preview tomorrow as well while we have the chance. Girls basketball, West Branch versus Chippewa. Michael's going to have the call for us. We had a chance to talk to Coach DeShields earlier on Running Point. Very exciting game. Two very good teams. Make sure you're watching that. That's going to be a 1:30 matchup here on YSN. And then in the evening, well, again, swimming at 1 p.m. as well. Boardman is going to take on Harding, Worcester, and Canfield. In the evening, we've got a 5 p.m. game, Lisbon versus Crestview. That game going to be at Lisbon. Rick Daly will have the coverage there. And then we turn to our 6 o'clock game that got changed to 6 o'clock just recently. Varsity only, Valley Christian versus the Academy for Urban Scholars, the Hawks. The A-team going to be on that game. It's Billy Mack and, of course, Jeff Betos. And at 7 o'clock, a pair of games. We've got Fitch and Struthers. Ty, you'll have that game. The marquee matchup, I believe, of that night. And then we've got the Edison-Connaughton Valley game as well. So a ton of action on YSN from literally now until you rest your head on Saturday night. And then you can do it all over again with the NFL on Sunday. So that being said, one of the things I want to talk about, guys, we kind of dipped our toe, Paul, into the pool on Running Points. The Waterloo-Sebring game that gets canceled. We talked about it. We came on the air yesterday in a little bit of a, I don't want to say panic, but we were a little bit of a red alert because games were getting moved and canceled. I didn't have a chance to watch. Did Dwight even have a conference today? Okay, so what we were...
He had a conference. It was meaningless.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what we were worried about was the hammer getting dropped today on the rest of sports or fans being allowed in the stands, because those were the rumors that were flying around yesterday. And of course, Portage County going purple meant that, or we thought it meant that Waterloo would be toast, and they indeed did. They actually pulled their game right then and there. They were informed in the locker room as the girls were warming up, as it was a 5:30 game. From a standpoint of a coach, that has to be one of the toughest things to break to your players. We talked to Coach DeShields about how he broke it down to his players, his girls who were on the floor at the same time, and he basically, I didn't know this was public knowledge. I didn't know it. That's why I asked the question. What was it like for you to go through all of that and have to break that to the girls not knowing? There was a lot, especially at that point in our country's history, we didn't know what was going to happen at the time. We didn't know if it was going to be played the next day, the next week, the next month, or ever again. Obviously, it turned into never again. But from a coach's perspective, he asked specifically, because they were going to announce it over the loudspeaker, he said, let me take my girls down into a room and tell them myself. And for me, as a leader, as someone who has coached before, as a player, that is unbelievable. Like that's what needed to happen, and Coach DeShields did that. Waterloo was in the same situation, obviously not with as much on the line, but we don't know that, right? We don't know that January is going to happen. We're not guaranteed. From a coach's perspective, and a lot of us on this panel have been coaches, Billy Mack, is that a situation where it's swallow you take that lump in your throat, you swallow it, and you've got to deliver that news? How do you do that to your student athletes, your athletes that have worked so hard to get to that moment, and it's taken away like that?
It's kind of hard, because in my experience, I deal with cancellations all the time, but it's a different lighting, of course, but in this scenario, I mean, I really appreciate the fact that Coach took the team down and spoke to him and kind of broke it down for him. I mean, it's not too often you hear a basketball game being canceled for any type of reason outside of what we're dealing with in today's society and world. So, I think any way a coach handles it, I mean, they're going to know their own team. and what's going to happen. So that's whatever route they take. I'm always behind coach and
Paul,
their
how about
decision.
you? In a situation like that, how do you handle it?
I mean, what better way than the way he did? I watched the running today from tip to tail, and it was some great coaches on there. But that was a great question because he's the only one who can answer that out of all the coaches we had on today. I mean, they experienced it firsthand. You're in the Final Four, like you are one step away from playing for a state title, and you get told it's over, it's done. I mean, and you got to sit there, and I like the way he handled it. Like, let me do it myself. I've brought these girls this far. They are a part of my family. Don't let some dude on a PA come over and say, okay, everybody go home. No, I'm going to take them away. I'm going to have this private moment with them because they deserve that. I mean, and Billy can attest to this being a baseball coach. I mean, last year for us, I mean, spring doesn't even have a season. So you've got to get those kids together and say, guys, I'm sorry. Like, you don't get to play at all. And those seniors, like, hey, thanks for giving us 3 years of your lives, but you're done. You've played your last game last year, and you don't get to have this. So, good luck in college or whatever you do, and dreams lost. And a team like that, they're one step away from playing for a state title, and you've got to tell them they're done. Dreams lost for them too. So it's tough, but I mean that's the way it should have happened. It should have happened with them doing it their way. Not being told by some commissioner or some dude walking in doing it. No, I'm going to go do this myself. Whether he went outside, whether he goes in the locker room, whether he took the girls to the center of the floor and said, enjoy this right now, girls, because unfortunately this is over. I mean, that's just, I wouldn't want to do that. I mean, not at that point. I can't imagine in 2018 telling those guys in a state semifinal, like, hey guys, we're done. You don't even get to play anymore. You get to go home. Like, that would just be devastating. I'd be upset,
McNuggies, how about you? I mean, you look at it from a different perspective. Being a student athlete yourself, you've already had a couple games canceled this year or postponed to this point. What would it be like for you to be gearing up for a game and someone come in and say, yeah, we're done until January? I mean, is there I don't want to say fear because you don't fear it, but is there a fear that you might not play basketball this year if that's the case?
I don't know if there's a fear about the entire season being canceled, but obviously with the state we're in right now, I've seen at least probably about a fourth of the games being canceled right now, postponed. There's a lot going on. Obviously, Ohio's, over 15% positivity rate. So, at any point at this time and moment that you could get shut down, a kid could test positive and you're quarantined, or you could be gearing up and getting ready to go out for a game. And whenever you get shut down, whether it's you get your postponement yesterday or you get it 2 minutes before you go on the floor, that's going to be tough, especially with it. This recent postponement being against our biggest rival, and it was the game we've been looking forward to since we started gearing up and getting ready to go for the season. But obviously, I was on the baseball team last year, and we got the news in March that we weren't going to be able to play. So the last practice, that Thursday before March 13th, when we went into shutdown, our coaches gathered us together in the dugout and told us, we don't know if we're going to be able to play again this season. And unfortunately, there was one senior on that team that is never going to be able to get to play again. So they told him, thank you for playing for 3 years, and we'll try to fight if this season doesn't happen. But it might be over right now for you. And that was tough. And we had a group text thread where we thanked him if he couldn't play again later that night as well. But it's tough whenever you get a postponement of a game, especially in a time right now, to have it pulled out from underneath you, have the rug pulled out. It's a hard feeling.
EB, I'll let you put a bow on it. I mean, your thoughts on how it was handled, how it could be handled, and the best way to handle it, I guess.
I mean, how Coach DeShields handled it is the best way that you could. There's no other way that you would want to handle that, especially the situation like that, because if you let the PA announcer do it, to me, that's even a bigger punch in the gut than what it already is. And at that point in time, you have 15 minutes before you tip off. There's a ton of emotions going on. I mean, the only question I would ask Coach DeShields that I'd be super curious about is, you're walking from the court to the locker room. what's going on through your head? You know, what kind of message are you thinking about to tell these girls? Because, like you said, you got to swallow that lump, and it was probably. You always watch Coach DeShields, and he's pretty even keel. Like, he doesn't show a lot of emotion, but I gotta imagine, you know, walking into that locker room, that's not a good feeling for a coach, because, as it's been stated, these girls are our family. Like, we not just generally through these next 4 or 5 months, but, you know, they get a month or two off from us, but we're still in contact. You know, we still deal with their personal issues. You create a pretty close bond, and you know, that's always something I've been proud of is my bond with a lot of the girls that I have. And you know, the thought process that he had to, and thoughts going through his head from the floor to the locker room had to be, you know, he had to be questioning them, you know, how do I do this? You know, what's the best way? There's no right words, but honestly, as we share a league with West Branch, you know, we were all kind of in their corner, even though they're rivals. You get someone that close to you and that you battle with on the court, you know, you want to see them do well. There's no better way for them to handle that. And making the best of a bad situation, you know, I felt for those girls because they were playing great. And at the time, the way that they were playing, I think they were probably playing the best basketball in the state. I don't want to say that they would have lost, they would have won. I don't know, but they had a pretty damn good chance. So he handled the best that he could, and that's all you could ask of him.
We're going to take a break because it's about the halfway point. When we come back, a lot to talk about still. Trent Conway bringing up some good points. I don't know if you guys have seen this yet, the video of the defensive lineman from Texas who actually came and hit the ref. Did you guys see that video?
I saw that. That's ridiculous.
We're gonna
He
address
didn't just hit him
here in just a little bit, so we'll keep our comments to ourselves before the break. We'll also talk a little bit about the NFL. McNuggies, we haven't had a chance to hear from you in a little bit, and I wonder what your situation's like. Billy Mack, I know, is very anxious to hear about how good the Steelers are right now. So we'll address that in a little bit when we come back on the YSN
Can't wait to
Power
let him hear
Hour. Back after this.
Hello, I'm Greg Burbick with G. Burbick Farms. For the last 100 years, my family has farmed in Columbiana and Mahoning counties. I began raising cattle in 1996 with the goal of providing a better product for you and your family on the dinner table. Our grass-fed and grain-supplemented Black Angus beef are raised with no hormones, steroids, or antibiotics. We're known for our hometown-friendly service and incredible tasting products. We're locally owned and have customers across the tri-state area. Our products go from our farm to your family. Stop by our farm on New Buffalo Road or visit us on the web at gburbickfarms.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. G. Burbick Farms. It just tastes better.
Baird Brothers remains your source for fine hardwood products. For the time being, we're open for customer pickup only on weekdays, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Saturday from 9 a.m. till noon. Place your order online at bairdbrothers.com. Baird Brothers, for the place you love.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
The 4M Company, being an architect and construction manager for over 40 years, has had the opportunity to use many different electrical businesses for our projects. The depth, quality, and knowledge and attention to detail displayed by Dickey Electric makes them stand out above all the rest.
For state-of-the-art expertise and a timeless commitment to our customers, contact Joe Dickey Electric. We are everything electrical.
And welcome back to the Ysn Power Hour. DJ Yoakley with you alongside a few of my friends, Eric Bailey, Mikey McNuggies. We got Billy McCarthy. Just kidding, McCartney. And Paul Munson is somewhere out in cyberspace. Guys, a question coming from our comments. Trent Conway chiming in saying, any of you see the video of the defensive lineman in Texas hit the referee? Apparently the whole team was dismissed from the playoffs. If you haven't seen this, I'll be honest, from my standpoint, I don't know if you want to see it. I mean, it's one of those things you see once and you just kind of wash away because you're so disgusted with it. Not to trash a student athlete, but come on, like there's boundaries, right? And that was way further than it should have gone. And shame on. I mean, you could almost see it happening, right? From our perspective, from Monday morning quarterback. But there should never be a situation where you assault somebody over a game, an athletic event, whatever it is. I mean, you shouldn't assault somebody anywhere unless it's life or death. But the reality is to blindside a referee who is 50s, late 50s, 60s, and like, come on, like it was despicable. It's a despicable act. And you know what? The team needed to be dismissed from the playoffs because that's just, I mean, you're representative of your team when you wear that uniform. And there wasn't a whole lot of people. There was one guy holding that young man back after it's all said and done. Let's get the hot takes for you guys. Paul, you saw it. You had some comments before we even got to it. What do you think?
It was disgusting. The kid, when you watch the whole video, you don't see what the kid did to get the penalties, but he gets a personal foul, and then he gets another one for obviously probably screaming at the referee, and he got ejected. And then all of a sudden, like, the referee's walking back to the huddle to, start the thing, and this comes out of nowhere and drills him. And it's like, are you kidding me? Like, I mean, knock this guy off his feet a good 3-4 yards away. And then I started reading some of the comments about it, and they say it's not the first time this kid's gotten personal fouls against him. But then some people, nobody thankfully was defending it. And I was waiting for one person to do it, and nobody was. But they were like, it's a shame that, that this kid was a state wrestler on their team. He was a good football player and all this other stuff. And like, I'm like, that's great and all, but I'm sorry. I know it's a young kid. I mean, you want to call him a scumbag, but that's kind of like almost what it was. Like, you did something that is so appalling that, like, nobody can defend it. Nobody can defend what you did. And you look and make your program and your coaches and your family look terrible. And I mean, if it was up to me, I know they kicked the team out of the playoffs. That kid would never step foot on anything in high school for the rest of his senior year, ever.
I mean, that's a suspendable offense. And I'm not just talking about from a football perspective, from a school perspective. I mean, if you did that in a lunchroom to a teacher, you'd be suspended from school. So what's the difference between representing your school in school and representing your school on a football field? KB?
Yeah, I mean, Trent's kind of hit the nail on the head here too. I mean, you getting hit with assault, more than like he should be expelled, honestly. And as far as the whole college thing, just talking with a lot of college coaches or having some connections in that world, I don't think any coaches are going to talk to him. They don't want to associate with that. That's maybe someone down the line maybe a JUCO or something in a year or two, just for a second chance. But it was classless, and I don't even know if there's a better word or what kind of word, because I can't come up with it. But and I don't know this kid's home life situation, but some of that stems from home. Yep. Like but like that's a being raised the right way or whatever you want to call it. Like, that's not just hey, you're an aggressive player, this and that. Like, that stems a full circle from home, situations. And I don't know the kid's situation. I don't know him personally, but nonetheless, like, if I was a superintendent at that school, you'd be you be gone. You're getting charged with assault. Don't expect to play sports or anything here at our school, because that's not what we represent as a brand, because essentially that's what schools are. It's tasteless, classless, and really just disgusting.
It's like a best of luck situation. Best of luck to you.
Yeah.
It's not you do this guy, right? As
Yep.
as a superintendent, as someone who has to make decisions, tough decisions. Listen, again, don't know this kid, don't know his family situation. There's a lot of troubled kids out there, troubled youth that utilize sports as an outlet. This is not an excuse. There's zero excuse for that.
Dude, and you hate to do it to a kid. It's our job to give him all the help or whatever he needs, and maybe he does need help. Hey bud, this is now a situation. Sports isn't for you right now. You have some bigger things that you need to work on, and here's my contacts. I advise you go this route, because I'm washing my hands of you. Best of luck. I hope you get the help you need, or figure out what's going on. Whether that's home life, whether that's personal, mental health, behavior, whatever it is, you can still do the right thing as an adult and give him the correct avenues to get the help that he needs. But you can't associate with that either.
Billy Mack, how about you?
I mean, everything's kind of been said. I mean, there's just no room for it.
McNuggies, how about you?
I mean, I'm with Billy Mack, and there's nothing really else to touch up on. I mean, classless.
And
Where do
the
you guys
bad thing
stand
is-
on retaliation in sports in general, right? So we talk about it all the time. I've been on the in the conversation as a catcher with my pitchers of, okay, they got our guy, we're gonna go get them. As a 17-year-old, 18-year-old, which we feel at the time that we're bulletproof. We throw at the head. Coaches tell you don't do it, right? Don't do it. Don't hit somebody on purpose. You don't do it. We're going to pull the ball from you. And you don't understand, right? I've been there. I've lived it. I've been there. I've done that. But at the time, you're trying to defend your guy. You see it on national television, Major League Baseball. Same thing goes with football, where you see guys throwing hands, ripping each other's helmet off. AJ Green got choked out a guy one time on the football field. You see the malice at the palace. You see all this stuff that goes on television that we don't necessarily realize influences our youth. Where do you guys stand on retaliation in sports, and is there a place for it in youth sports and in high school sports? Mac, we'll start with you.
Yes and no. I mean, there's ways to get yours in. You know what I mean? Where it's not malicious, where you're trying to really seriously hurt somebody. Like in baseball, we hit guys. There's a way to do that. You hit somebody in the butt or up in the, staying away from the target area of the head. That's going to happen. Like in other sports, in football, there's you can get yours in. It's just not that way. Not running across the field to really cheap shot somebody. We're not talking really about cheap shotting anybody. We're talking about getting yours in. And there's two different levels. Each one is a little different than the next one.
So and Jeff, yes, by the way, you can come in. Just don't talk about any Asians on Call of Duty. My big thing is this: is there was always a mutual understanding from a catcher's perspective, and that's the only way I can relate to this. My head coach was Troy Burdine, who is well known in the Columbiana Hall of Fame. He's got a son that plays basketball for United. Very talented individual, very talented family, and probably one of my favorite coaches, if not my favorite coach of all time. There was an understanding that when that stuff happened, he handled the officials. He handled the umpires, and I handled the players, right? If I'm going to talk to the players. I'm not going to talk or chirp to the officials. That's his job. So when that's being said, there was a situation where we were playing a team, and they hit our guy on purpose. It was blatant. It was on purpose. It was another situation that we've talked about before where Baseball plays games after the tournament, right after the state tournament, to just get the games in after. It meant absolutely nothing to the standings, to anything. And they hit our guy, and we retaliated without asking, right? We just said, I was the catcher. I said, I'm going to take this on me. You're getting hit. Your best guy hit our best guy who was on the mound at the time. We had to change pitchers, so you're going to get plunked. He grabbed me. I'll never forget this as long as I live. You throw down the old number one, but it's not really the number one. It's the other finger.
The birdie.
He grabs me out and says, if you ever do that again, you'll never see the field. And I said, well, this is my last game. And he said, but you have to, he told me, you have to understand that there's a time and a place to do that. And the way that you did it was not the right way. So you learn it. But I will say this is I've come across people in different routines from a coaching standpoint. I'm not going to call them out, but there's different ways where, okay, you're a catcher. I've always heard the one where you throw down the fastball and you just don't raise your glove and you let the fastball go over your head and hit the umpire because he doesn't call a strike.
That's disgusting.
It is disgusting. And I never let it happen to me. I never had the opportunity or never had anybody influence me to say, let it happen. These guys are, that is a high school official as we bring in Jeff Bezos. That's a high school official. And here's the other part of that video that I really didn't like. If you're going to go at somebody, go at them. And there's no reason to do it. But at least have the stones to go at them face to face, right? If you're going to be a big man, go at them where they can see you and they can adjust. They can move out of the way.
Don't blindside somebody.
He was blindside. He's 60-some years old. It's despicable to see that. And it's just it's frustrating because retaliation, do I think it has a place in the game? Yes. But it has to be done the right way where you're not going to permanently hurt somebody. I read that guy's got a concussion. The gentleman that got hit, the official, has a concussion. And he's lucky that's all he has because it was a violent hit. Jeff Bezos, you're in.
Well, first of all, if I watched did you guys see the two angles that they brought out? Like I watched one on Facebook where
if you're going to defend this guy, you're out.
No, I'm not. I'm not. No. I'm just saying like I think you're not blaming. Obviously, you got to blame the kid on how he did it and how it happened. Like if that kid gets flagged for a late hit and unsportsmanlike what he got flagged for, and obviously gets ejected. The coaches did the best thing is get him off the field as quick as possible. The only thing what I would like to see on the one side of the video was the one coach that got him off the field. I don't know why he left him. You know what I mean? You just got to stay with him the whole entire time and be like, hey, man, got to calm down. You know, you're getting ejected. It's okay. It happens. You know, you talk to him after the game, be like, hey, dude, you can't have that. It's a character type of play. And you're talking about and I was on before I wanted to get on. You were talking about how to get back at something like that. You just play. Go there next week and just play the same way and just remake it up. Show that okay, that happened. I got ejected. That's not me. And you just need to move on. And
that
it's hard
ain't gonna get a second chance. I gotta believe.
The bad thing is some college will take a flyer on that kid if he's really that good. But that's the bad thing is it will happen, but he shouldn't.
Why?
They got a show for that. It's called Last Chance U.
In WWE Monday Night Raw.
Yeah. So that circle's going to be real small because most coaches they're just not going to put up with anybody like that. He's going to have to earn it somehow and really apologize.
And that's not the way either, Trent. That's not the way.
That happens, though.
I know it happens, but handle your business. And that's not the way to handle your business. If you're going to be a cheap shot artist, then, might as well go grab a steel chair and come in the middle of the ring. I mean, that what does that do? If you got to resort to that stuff, then how good of an athlete are you? Do you deserve to be on the field? Have you worked hard enough to be on the field if you have to resort to the cheap shot BS? My answer is no.
Ask Jeff. Jeff knows about a cheap shot winning a game, right?
We actually talked about it last night on Schuster's show.
MLO Bros.
A national hero.
Well, I wasn't a national hero. I was just really, really, really lazy to run all the way down there, and really had a good, as I call it, it was a flop. Obviously, as more as I can admit to it now, is that kid never clipped me from United. I fell on my own 2 feet. The one ref didn't really see it because he wasn't really paying attention. He just saw a big dude down, and he saw the kid right next to me, and he threw the flag. And unfortunately, that kind of won South Range the football game. Actually, did win us as a game because they would have gone up 2 scores at that point, United. But
I wish I had Rudy's theme music to play right now because Paul nailed it. You are South Range's version of Rudy.
About time you did something for somebody else, man.
What was that, Picardi? Hey, by the way,
he's doing something for somebody else. He's cleaning the floors. Look at him.
Listen, Trent, I got a good idea for Jeff on Saturday when I see him. Thank you.
What? Oh, really? You're gonna smack me? You're gonna smack you down, man. Listen, Billy, just make sure you wear a hat. Hey, Billy, make sure you wear a hat because I don't want to be blinded by your bald head by the gym lights. That's all. Okay, we gotta wear a hat. Please. Is this good? I don't know. Let's see. So,
let him clean the
I am
floor.
cleaning the floors. If I could turn the camera, there it is. You see that?
Mop, mop, mop all day long. Mop, mop, mop while I sing this song.
I was listening to some bangers on before I listened to you guys. But,
some bangers.
Yeah, dude, I had some dubstep music playing. Like,
did they have translators?
This is that moment where Jeff gets relaxed because he feels like he's just talking to the crew right now and starts dropping F-bombs.
Let's not do that.
No, I can't.
Let's not even suggest that. Let's not put that into the atmosphere.
I can't. I wish I could.
Oh man,
Jeff, I'm gonna put this out there. We watched your the replay of the show last night. I told Sarah she had to watch just your little 15 minutes there. And we laughed so hard just at that 15 minutes, and then we got to your beef, and it started off so weird because you're like, I can't even say my beef.
Well,
and then you immediately went to some playing Call of Duty against Asian kids.
He said I'm just gonna make one up. He's like,
how did you make that up so fast?
Nah, it happens. That happens a lot more than I'll probably say because I stink at Call of Duty. So like it happens a lot more. It was just one of the things that really irritated me. And my really overall beef is like I can't say it. I wish I could, or I would get a X from the spot that I'm at right now.
Oh god,
canceled.
But I watched it probably 3 times right after the beef. I mean, it was so well done. And listen, talking to Steve, we are going to get you your own show.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
Because it needs to happen. We had 4 people chime in yesterday that said Jeff needs his own show, and we've just got to pair you up with the right person because you need somebody.
Me and Billy.
No.
Why not? Why we call it?
Billy's already got a show. Billy and EB have their own show that is yet to debut.
We could call it the Jeff Bezos show and the Bacardi show.
The Bacardi.
So you obviously need some help on marketing because that's not going to go over very well.
Yeah,
well, obviously,
copyright infringement.
For what?
Bacardi. It's a rum. It's alcohol.
151. They don't make it anymore, actually.
We got people that want the A-team, so this might be a thing.
You got the A-team Saturday at 6:00. Tune in.
Mardell says, "Give me and Jeff a show."
Oh, I'd love to do a show with Mardell. He's a really big getting boxing guy too. He's super smart because he boxes too.
Oh my God, you should definitely box Jeff.
Yes, please, pay-per-view. I'd pay to see that.
Jeff's the white Mike Tyson.
Give me a price.
$100.
I'm paying to see that.
Mardell would smoke Betos.
That is why I would pay.
Are we saying I'm not boxing anybody? All right.
How about we just do this whole show of would Jeff take a punch from, and we just introduce him to people who want to punch him.
I would definitely for $1 million take a bare knuckle punch from Mike Tyson. For $1 million.
Has
$1
to be in the
million?
face, though.
That's
$1
it.
million. Yeah.
It has to
Even if
be
you
in the
don't live?
face.
It will cost $1 million to fix your face.
No, dude, it has to be in the body. It's only a body punch.
Oh,
No.
no.
You can take a punch from everybody with that body.
No.
Bare
Oh,
buckle
man, you can
punch
take
in
a
the
punch
face
from
by
anyone.
Mike Tyson in the face. I'm not doing it.
Nobody's paying for that.
You
Like,
can take a
I'm
punch
gonna
from
take a
anyone
body
with
punch
that
from Mike
body.
Tyson
Are you
for $1 million.
kidding me?
Get out of here with that.
You want to do it, you little 5'2" midget. All right, redhead. Okay, redhead. Let's relax. You want to do it? You would look at it and go, "No, I'm not doing it."
Those
Sorry,
fighting
guys.
words.
Really?
Like,
Like, you tell me-
He doesn't have a Jeff, he doesn't have a pillow for his
Listen,
nuts.
you illiterate jackass. I will do any I'm sitting here and listening to you babble on about stuff about what you would do and what you wouldn't do. You can't even read a book, so you're.
That's not true. That's not true
That's
at all.
absolutely true.
Dr.
not
Seuss
true.
doesn't count.
Is that a book? Answer the question. Is that a book? That is a book. So you said I couldn't read a book. That is a book. Okay.
Oh,
I'm right. Can I do this without knocking my phone?
Why don't you finish mopping the floor?
I am done. Hold on.
And that's gonna do it for Jeff Bezos today. Where did that come from? He called me a redhead too.
This is what I'm talking. Jeff just says things, man.
How did I get called a redhead? There's no, that just doesn't happen. Should we let him back in?
One too many Hennessy's.
I mean, that's what happens when you drink and do your job, I guess. I don't know.
if any show would need that advisory, it would be the Jeff show. I mean,
yeah.
And it would have to
100%.
run at every commercial.
100%. I mean,
don't let him in because he's gonna freak out because he's gonna think you're super pissed at him.
Oh, DZ, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
He's out.
Sorry.
He's done, and his show's gone too.
I'm sorry, Preth.
You're my boy. Come
Pat
on.
McAfee told me to say it.
Well, at least
For
I'm
the
getting
boys.
some love from Trent.
For the
5'5"
boys.
at least. Yeah, so 5'4.5". Okay, like that's. I've made
Yeah,
it well known,
so
public knowledge. 5'4.5". I'm not winning any like tall man contests. I'm not gonna slam dunk the ball anytime soon. I know, and I'm not afraid of that. But damn,
And Jeff's all like, you wouldn't take a body shot from Mike Tyson. Well, none of us have pillows for a guy to take a body shot from Tyson.
it's well played. That's well played. Like none of us walk around like the Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters every day with that white jacket.
That white
on.
got that hazmat suit on, doesn't he?
Yeah. Like he's gonna sit there like what?
It's like
Call
he's got
me
an
a
outfit.
midget all you want. Like I'm not gonna get any taller. There's nothing I can do about that. But grab a treadmill there, tough guy.
Jeff's
like-
outfit is that white jacket and the YSN hat all the time.
Yeah, I know because that's like if Jeff had an action figure,
Pillsbury
that's what it would look
Doughboy.
like.
It either looks like he's in a hazmat suit, or he's a Ghostbuster.
Poor
We
Ethan.
should have a show for Betos, like the Jackass show that they used to have in the early 2000s.
You know what the problem is when we laugh at him, we just kind of
Encourage him.
encourage him, and then he tries to get push that envelope further and further and further, and like he comes off like that. Like I wasn't coming at him tough. I was just saying like nobody's gonna pay $1 million for a body shot. Like,
No.
that's just not gonna happen. Oh,
Beavis and Betos.
Please call me.
I love. You know what's even better is on StreamYard here. I can see like he's in the backstage. I can see him yelling at the camera right now, like at his phone, and he's not on. So he's literally talking to himself and
Because he
to
doesn't know
anybody.
What
he's not on.
what if he doesn't know?
And here's even better. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to bring him on, and then mute him, and then like now everybody just sees he's a jackass, right? So like.
Oh, well, easy now.
So just like that, I mean, like you don't mess with the QB, right? If you're a wide receiver, you don't make fun of the quarterback.
Yeah. You're
I'm
not getting the ball
that-
anymore.
Yeah, you're not getting the ball. We'll see. WR5. Like that's the way it goes. So Very interesting to. And he's in the private chat saying, "Let me in." So, no, Jeff, you're not. I don't care how many private chats you get him.
Come on, let me in. I'm just joking around.
As good as yesterday, we had a nice little rhythm going into that show, and then Jeff came on and absolutely derailed us. Like yesterday, helped us out, and today did not. So,
it's the give and take with Jeff Bezos.
Unbelievable.
Some days good, most days bad.
Poor Scotty.
Jeez.
Come on, Scotty. Easy, buddy. Here's James saying, have a show, the Bezos challenges, have people challenge him different sports.
I call basketball.
I think I would let Quinn do basketball.
Oh, no, baseball, because remember, he said he would strike me out over the summer.
There you go.
There we go.
There you
I'm
go.
doing baseball.
That's going to do it for our show. The majority of it, but it leaves the G. Burbick Farms What's Your Beef? The final beef for the week, guys. So without further ado, McNuggies, you haven't been doing this for a while. What's your beef? You should have plenty of beef to speak of.
I'm just going to leave it to one thing and one thing only, and it's COVID-19. And I think we all know why. I was supposed to have 2 games now this week, and now COVID-19 says no, you have none. So,
all right, well played.
Screw you.
Let's go to Billy Mack.
I got 2. First one is Bezos. I don't know why you can't get my name right. I think it's partly because like you just don't know, and then the other part is like you think it's funny. So it's like a combination between the two.
Talent.
But you're an idiot. The second beef I have is this morning running to Walmart in East Liverpool. I hope you enjoy those TVs since you basically lied to my face and told me you didn't have any. So I hope you enjoy them. Good luck.
Yeah, that's an interesting. I mean, that was an interesting group chat because I don't understand. You've got rights as a shopper. I know they've got ways to go around it, but it didn't seem like they did.
Yeah, basically my theory is because it was a clearance item that it came on sale at 7 o'clock. It was a 50-inch screen TV for $79. When those employees seen that they went on sale, they basically hid them in the corner in the back room and said, "These are mine. I'll pay for them when my shift's over," type of deal, and weren't going to sell them to me.
Snake bit you, huh? The same way that we were trying to get you a PS5, the snake came back to bite you.
So now I'm just going to go get a stupid job at Walmart every Christmas holiday season and just work for part-time, and I'm just going to steal all the stuff.
TV's mine.
I can't wait. Please let me know when you get that
I'm
job
going
at
to be a
Walmart.
Walmart greeter. Hey!
No.
Hey,
you
how's it
would
going?
not let you be a
Visual
Walmart
paper
greeter. You are not the Walmart greeter they are looking for. You are the person the returns person, like the miserable person at returns that somebody's got to come up and be like, I need to return it. Does it work?
Let me see. Does it work?
Why are you returning it?
I need to return this underwear. What?
Whatever.
There's a giant brown mark in it.
Not today.
I would love you being a return person at a retail store. It would be so much fun. Let's go to we got McNuggies, we got Mac. EB, what's your beef?
Let's see here. My beef is schools canceling because their county goes to purple. There's nothing that says because you go to purple you need to cancel games. It's more so for the health department, especially when you take a team like Waterloo, who was in the locker rooms. Like, dude, that sucks. And if these kids are doing it the right way and they're doing everything that they can, don't take this away from them. I mean, they don't know what's going on, and they're doing what they're told. So, we've said this probably since this summer. Relax a little bit. Like don't jump the gun, and especially if they're in the locker room, let them play the game out. If they're going to be done for a month or something, let them have their 60 minutes or 48 minutes, their 32 minutes, whatever it is. Let them have their moment. But quit jumping the gun just because your county goes to purple. Who said the color coding has nothing to do with sports. That's for the hospital systems, for the healthcare workers, for everything of that sort. So that's my big beef. Outside of that, my buddy Drake Golden, good luck tonight. Good game with Hudson coming back. Jeff Brink originally started out at Columbiana as a freshman boys coach, went to Springfield, very successful there, Salem, and now he's at Hudson, so he kind of returns back this way. And if you're not tuning in yet, now's the time.
Appreciate that. Muncie, what do you got?
So I got like 1.5 beefs. My half beef.
It better not be a short joke.
No, my half beef is with Billy because of the conversation that he just had that we all had this morning on a thing. I mean, Billy being our resident fiery redhead, I felt like he gave up too quick on that. I mean, I'd have been throwing a fit and been asking for managers and showing them the thing and been like, give me at least one, give me one TV, either that, or, and then file a grievance with the Better Business Bureau. That was crap. But my full beef is, and listen, I know we live in Northeast Ohio and yes, it's December, but God, I despise the cold. I hate having to put a jacket on now when I come to work, and it's like I'd rather just wear this and a hoodie or a long sleeve shirt. And no, you got to get the hat, you got to get the jacket and gloves sometimes, and it's just a pain. And I hate it, and I want to move, but I'm never going to move. So I guess that's it.
I felt so bad in that last couple sentences, man. I want to move, and I'm never gonna move, and I guess that's it.
Sounded like Eeyore.
Yeah, man. Like, oh bother! Like, come on, Pooh Bear. Like, but I mean, my beef is like I had a different one, but JB, like, what was that? What was? He's bitter because most hats don't fit him.
Well, yeah, she's got a point.
You wanted to say she was wrong so bad, and you just couldn't.
I can't. I mean, it's true. I mean, there are. I mean, a baseball hat, a fitted hat is an 8. I mean, that's just what I.
Oh, Gary.
Will Rutledge from Minnesota says, "Come on over. I'll show you the cold."
No, that's okay.
Yeah, it's a hard pass to Minnesota.
Yeah,
no. I just don't like. I wasn't going at him. I was just saying that $1 million is not going to get you a body shot. $1 million is straight up is a face blow, right? It's a shot to the You get a free shot, hands behind the back, jackass style, for $1 million.
Going right in the center of your face.
Yeah, and you had a good one on MLO. It was like Pavlik, Tyson, or McGregor.
That's what I'm saying. And who do you take from those three? I'm taking McGregor every single time because he's 150 pounds. Like, yeah, it's going to hurt, but for $1 million, listen, there's a sacrifice to be made. But Tyson might kill you.
Yeah.
And for, like, that's...
Yes, Mama Yoakley.
Yeah, Paul wants a hat, so he's knitworthy. So my mom has a brand called Knitworthy or Not, and, she gives out...
You might need a whole ball of yarn.
Yeah. Mom, all these guys are knitworthy. So if you're willing to make hats, I'm sure they'll wear them on the show and promote your brand, Knitworthy or Not. My mom loves knitting, and she does it all the time. So I'm sure if you guys want a hat, just tell her what color, and she'll make sure that you get one. So, Jeff, deuces, man. You got the suspy. You're getting suspended. So enjoy that.
3-week ban.
You won't be on the Power Hour for a while, so good luck. And good
Unless
luck finding somebody.
I got some floors come up, man. I gotta watch some floors.
Good luck finding somebody that's going to put on a show if you're going to sit there making fun.
Yeah. Unless Jeff can spell suspended to get back on.
We're lucky if he could spell CEO at this point. So good luck, Mr. Betos. We appreciate it. Go find your friends at Barstool. I'm sure they'll bring you on as someone who talks about Asians and calls the CEO of a company a redheaded midget.
Tune up, you redheaded midget.
Did he see? Like, sometimes I wonder if he thinks that me and Billy are the same person. Like, honestly,
I'm not a redhead.
Okay.
Yes, you are.
Okay. All right.
Fine. Let's call him Captain Redbeard.
You're a red face. Maybe not a red head because there is nothing up here for a lot of us.
But
you're a red face.
It's all right here, so let's call him Captain
Beard's coming
Redbeard.
off tonight.
What?
Beard's coming off tonight.
No,
It doesn't change that your pigment in your hair.
I don't have red hair.
Yes, you do.
What was the name of that movie from a while ago? That Powder, like the kid had.
Oh.
Like that's.
He was all
white. You're gonna go from ginger to powder like that. So
Okay,
He's
set me
gotta
up a
blend
doctor's
in with that
appointment.
room.
I need something. I need something. I need.
We're not going to see Billy anymore. We're just going to see eyeballs like floating.
Casper's here.
Yeah.
That's gonna do it for the YSN Power Hour. I'm 4
Look at
hours
him.
in.
Look at him. Look at him.
I am punch drunk right now. So
He's
again,
like
lots of games on tonight. Crestview versus Wellsville, Heartland versus United, Fitch versus Hudson. We lost Ty somewhere along the way. Louisville versus Springfield, Salem versus Minerva, and Canfield versus Poland. All on the network tonight. And of course, we got tomorrow action as well. Make sure you stay up to date on everything that is YSN, ysnlive.com/live, or go to ysnlive.com and click on the live tab right underneath your search bar.
And we do have a breaking change to the thing. I know you're looking at it. Only you and I can. Mooney girls game.
I'm looking at it too, actually.
Mooney girls game against Canton Central is canceled tomorrow. Mooney boys picked up Western Reserve. It'll be on the network tomorrow, 7:30.
Ian O'Brien will have the call.
Yes, he will.
All right. So that is going to do it for the YSN Power Hour. Another week in the books. Gentlemen, great job. And I will see you, the majority of you, on Monday right here on the YSN Power Hour. Welcome back, McNuggies. Appreciate you being with us.
That hat won't fit your head.